I actually didn't think about this one until Grit brought it up, and he wants to know how to prevent fall damage on AI. Because as you know, AI will splat if they fall from too far up. And today we're going to figure out how to prevent that. And it's actually not that hard, and a really simple fix that I kind of just came up with on a whim, and it works out pretty great. So let's jump into it and see what we've got. Okay, well, there is a little bit of map setup with this, and it's important to this tutorial. So let's grab a pointer from the scripting category and place it somewhere, because we're going to make a boundary out of this. So it's going to be around the floor of your map, or where the AI will be landing. So grab your pointer, and I'm going to name this Safe Fall Zone. And we're going to make it a boundary. So let's go down here to the boundary and set it to something, and mine's going to be a box. The top, let's make that 10, because it covers just right. All right, we're going to make it a 100 by 100, which isn't actually that big. You can make it as big as you need to, of course, but you can see it's not that big. But for this example, it will be big enough. And the bottom, I'm just going to make sure that it intersects with the bottom of the map right here to cover this little bit of a gap that the pointer leaves for being snapped to the ground here. But with that out of the way, the map setup is complete. All you need is some pointers with the boundary set, and we're going to go in and build the script. So bring it into the node graph with Y, and the node we're going to be starting this with is in just regular events, and it's on object entered area. And since it is an area monitor, we're going to need that node from variables basic. So grab an area monitor from variables basic, the very first node in the category, and plug it in just like this. There we go, looking nice. So we're actually going to fill in with a bunch of middle nodes here before we move on to our next main node in the script. So let's go ahead and start on those. And the first one will be an AI advanced. We're going to grab get is AI because we want to make sure that the object that is entering this and being protected from the fall damage is an AI, since players don't take it. Okay, is it an AI? And we're actually going to need one more. And it's an object's transform, and we're going to be getting the object's velocity, or the AI's velocity. Go ahead and plug both of these into the object of your event here, like that. And we can move on. So we're going to be working with this first. So we can't just plug velocity into a number, since it is actually three entirely separate numbers. So we need to separate this into those three numbers to use them. To do that, go to the math category and grab get vector axis value. This allows us to get the three numbers separated out of this. It converts the three numbers that are, combined into one here, converts it into three usable numbers. We have how fast the object is moving on the x-axis, y-axis, and of course the z-axis. We'll be working with the z-axis since they'll be falling up and down, which is z, not this way or the other way. So now that we have that, we need a compare node from logic compare. Go ahead and place it right here. Since we can finally use these numbers and we're using the z-axis, plug that into operand A. This part gets a little funky, and I'm going to try my best to explain it. We're going to be comparing it to negative 100. Because AI, when they fall, they reach speeds up to negative, which if they're falling, since they're going down, it is negative. If they were rising up in the air, it would be a positive number. But since they're falling, it is a negative velocity. And they reach up to negative 130 or higher. So 100 is safe to be sure that they're not going to die, because they reach 100 very quickly. So now that we have that, we want to make sure that the AI, well, it is an AI, and the velocity is going faster than negative 100. And if it is, then something happens. So let's go to our logic category and grab a Boolean logic and connect these in. Get is AI can go straight into operand A. Operand B needs to be A is less than B. You would think, okay, well, negative 130 is greater than 100. Normally that's the case, except when we're working with negatives, it actually is the reverse. Negative 100 is actually a higher number than negative 130. You probably knew that. I just thought I'd throw that in there, which is why we're using A is less than B, because 130, which is, what they will likely be traveling, is definitely less than negative 100. Okay, now that I got that covered, we've got our Boolean logic here. Now we need our branch, so we can finally move on to the next main node in the script. Plug your event into the branch, and the condition needs to be AND. It needs to be an AI and moving faster than 100 units per, well, whatever the velocity stands for. It needs to be less than negative 100. Okay, so now that we have that, let's go ahead and give them the protection. And the protection is actually given through set object velocity. We're going to be resetting, not exactly resetting, but slowing them down so they don't die on impact. So off the if true, we're going to change or connect our object here all the way back to the object here. Because if these apply, then this will. This does not need to apply if these are not true. Okay, so the velocity, we'll set that in a second. Make sure the is relative is false, otherwise it's going to simply make it faster. Okay, so we're going to grab a vector3 variable from a variables basic. This allows us to just kind of give one of these numbers converted back, these three numbers again, converted back into one number. So we're going to make this a 0 and this a 0. Since we're working on this, we're going to set the velocity of the AI that's falling to negative 30, because anything higher, and there's a chance they will die. 31 you can sometimes get away with, and they'll do like a falling, heavy land animation where they kind of take a knee. But I've also tried it a few times, and it's random, but they might die. If you do a negative 30, they will not die. They'll do a kind of landing animation, but not as heavy. But 32 and higher, they're guaranteed to die. 31, it's a half and half. And 30, they're guaranteed to live. So that is your script. That is how you will protect your AI from any fall damage. So we're going to test it without it first. So I'm just going to move this out of the way. And you'll see up here that I have an AI up here. He's going to spawn, and this floor will disappear. And then it will drop him. As soon as the game starts, the floor is going to disappear, and he's just going to fall from the sky. So let's go ahead and give it a shot. Here he comes. And he's going to splat. Yeah, sorry, buddy. Okay, now we're going to move this back. We're going to give him a little bit of protection. Okay, let's see what happens now. Perfect. Landed just fine. No damage. And this zone will not pick up any AI unless it is moving down at faster than 100 units. So an AI can run in here in this zone as fast as they want to, and it will not affect them. They can jump as high up as they want to, and it will not affect them. It will only affect them when falling down into the zone at a faster rate than is safe. So that is how you can make sure that it will not affect anything but falling AI. And there you go. They're protected from fall damage, just not this. And there you have it. That should protect all of your AI from splats or otherwise deadly falls. The next tutorial is going to be a definitive edition of my sliding door tutorial. It's changed and has been optimized enough that it's definitely worth sharing. On another note, I finally decided on what my next content type is going to be. And that is custom campaign playthroughs made by you guys and everyone else. So if you want, you can now recommend me a campaign you want me to play through, and I will play through it blindly for the first time. And most of the time they will be solo campaigns, but if you do happen to find one that is a co-op campaign, I can always round up Chaos Reaper and Spaghetti. Yes, Spaghetti's a person and we love him. And we'll play through it too. So with that, I hope to see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.